Which team comms should you use for Yelan? Hey there, Tuan here. I'm a day 1 Genshin Impact player at AR 59 and 36 star abyss every reset. In this video, we will have a look at the possible teams for Yelan, which include both 5-star and 4-star options. Then, I will recommend which team is the most suitable for her, in my opinion. I have added all the teams that I will mention in this video to the Yelan guide on Notion, which I will leave the link in the description. Also, it takes a lot of time to create this guide, so it will be a great support if you can like and subscribe to my channel, so I create better videos in the future. My main criteria is to have a balanced team that has both DPS, sub-DPS, and support. Hopefully, after this video, you can get some good ideas on how to build good team comms for Yelan. Alright, let's go! First, let's consider Yelan as the only Hydro character in the team. I will use Aloy as Yelan's placeholder here. We have Vaporize team where the main core is Pyro plus Hydro. For the Pyro slot, you can use Pyro DPS like Hu Tao, Diluc, Klee, Yoimiya, Xiangling or Yanfei. For the other 2 slot, you can put other off-field DPS or supports like Shielder or Healer. For example, with Hu Tao, we can have a team of Yelan, Hu Tao, Albedo, and Zhongli. Hu Tao can vaporize a charge attack and get the Geo Resonance from Albedo and Zhongli. Albedo can deal good off-field DPS with his flower, and Zhongli can provide a thick shield. Furthermore, with Yelan's passive talent, you can fire up Hu Tao and Zhongli burst at the end of Yelan's Q to deal high damage. The main question about this team is whether Yelan's Hydro application is enough for Hu Tao to reliably vaporize all her charge attack. We will need to wait until she is released to find out the answer. For 4-star option, we can have Yelan, Yanfei, Bennett, and Sucrose. Yanfei is a good 4-star DPS that can deal pretty competitive damage. Then we have the acting Pyro Archon, Bennett, who can provide attack buff and healing. We also have Sucrose who can group enemies, lower elemental resistance, and transfer to mastery to other party members. Pretty solid team. The second team is Electro-Charged team, where the main core is Electro plus Hydro. Usually for this team, you would want to run 2 Electros here, since there are Electro pairs that work well together. A good option is to run Yelan, Beidou, Fischl, and Sucrose. Beidou and Fischl are both good off-field DPS. While Fischl can deal decent single target damage, Beidou can deal massive AoE Electro damage with her burst. Sucrose will be the main driver here, where she can do animal normal attack to trigger Yelan's and Beidou's Q. The other thing that you need to think about is that this team doesn't have a healer, so you can either run Sucrose with Protai Ember, or use Kuki Shinobu, who is an Electro healer in the team. The third team is Freeze team, where the main core is Cryo plus Hydro. You can use Yelan, Kamisato Ayaka, who is soon to have her rerun in 2.6, Shenhe, and Kazuha. Ayaka's main source of damage is her burst, so you can have Ayaka do 1 normal attack to apply Hydro, then use burst, and continue using normal attacks to trigger Yelan's Q to freeze the opponent. Shenhe will buff cryo damage to Ayaka. As for Kazuha, he will group enemies, lower elemental resistance, and increase elemental damage bonus to other team members. If you want more healing or shielding, you can use Diona instead of Shenhe. For 4-star option, you can use Yelan, Rosaria, Kaya, and Sayu. This is a quick swap team where you will use a lot of E and Q. Either Rosaria or Kaya can be the main DPS to trigger Yelan's Q, and Sayu will heal and lower elemental resistance. Okay, those are the 3 main reaction teams that you can use for Yelan. The 4th and 5th team will be based on these 3 reactions. For the 4th team, we have mixed reaction team where it utilizes both amplifying reactions like Vaporize and transformative reactions like Overloaded, Electro-Charged, or Swirl. For example, Yelan, Raiden Shogun, Bennett, and Xiangling. This is another version of Raiden National where Yelan replaces Xingqiu. It will trigger Vaporize, Overloaded, and Electro-Charged, which can deal pretty great damage to the opponents. Raiden National is one of the meta teams that has cleared Abyss Floor 12 constantly now, so this is a good potential team comp for Yelan. You can also use Kazuha instead of Xiangling here to swirl the elements and provide buff and grouping. For 4-star option, you can use Yelan, Fischl, Bennett, and Sucrose. You can go with a quick swap strategy and use all the E and Q with Sucrose as the main driver. The 5th team is a double Hydro team. This is where Yelan will have another Hydro character in the team. This may work well since Yelan will probably have energy recharge issue, so the other Hydro character can somewhat help generate particles for Yelan. Similar to the mixed reaction team, the other 2 slots are flexible here. You can run Yelan, Xingqiu, Hu Tao, and Zhongli as a Vaporize team. Xingqiu C generates a lot of particles, which helps Yelan a lot. Also with C2, he can lower Hydro resistance, which increases both his and Yelan's damage. An alternative is Yelan, Kokomi, Beidou, and Fischl, which is a pretty decent Electro-Charged team. For 4-star option, you can go with Yelan, Xingqiu, Bennett, and Sucrose as a mixed reaction team. Finally, the 6th team that I want to mention is the Mono Hydro team. The main core will be all Hydro or Hydro plus Animal. So you can run a team like Yelan, Xingqiu, Ayato, and Kokomi. They can all generate Hydro particles, so you can use less ER and focus on offensive stat like crits for all members, except Kokomi. Kokomi can run Thrilling Tales Book and Tenacity artifacts, which can help buff a lot of attack to the team. Ayato can deal pretty decent damage with his normal attack, so he can be the main driver. You can also consider an animal character like Kazuha if you want more grouping. As for 4-star option, Yelan, Xingqiu, Barbara, and Sucrose would be a pretty cool choice here. Alright, So we have 6 types of team comps that you can use for Yelan. We will need to wait until Yelan is released and test her out to see which team is most suitable. Based on my experience, here are my top 2 recommendations. My top pick is Yelan, Raiden, Bennett and Kazuha. This team is great in both single and multi-target. Raiden, especially at C2, can be the main DPS, and she can help Yelan with her energy issue. Bennett and Kazuha are the top 2 support in the game, and they can deal pretty decent damage too. Bennett can provide good healing, so you don't need to worry about the survivability of this team. As for a more single target focused team, I would recommend a double Hydro team with Yelan, Xingqiu, Hu Tao and Zhongli. I already mentioned this team early on, but what I like about this team is that double Hydro means the AI issue is solved, Hu Tao can reliably vaporize, and Zhongli can provide a thick shield which helps with survivability. There can be other better option system damage like Yelan, Xingqiu, Raiden and Kazuha. I do value healer and shielder a lot, so I prefer the top 2 teams, but this team is still an interesting option for sure. Well, in conclusion, there are a lot of team comps you can use for Yelan. I hope that you will get Yelan to explore to find out yourself the best Yelan team. Please subscribe if you find this video helpful. This is Tuan, signing out. Peace.